Okay. Hello. This feels so weird. Okay. This is Laura Schlotzauer doing book summary number 1. So I have really enjoyed reading this book so far. It's been really interesting learning about habits and habit formation, and I did not know any of this stuff about habits, so it's been very interesting. So, number 1, discuss the methods of habit formation in individuals. So habit formation involves the habit loop, which starts with a cue that then leads to a routine and then finally culminates in a reward. So the cue is the trigger that leads your brain to that certain routine, and then after the routine is completed, you have a reward. So the routine is always the same behavior that follows that particular clue, and then the reward is whatever it is, it reinforces to your brain that was a good routine to do, so that it continues to follow that cue. So I really enjoyed reading the story about Eugene Pauly and about how he was able to create habits even though he had the memory loss. And I thought it was especially interesting that he couldn't explain what he was doing. He couldn't explain the habits, but he automatically knew them. He could go into the kitchen and make himself something to eat, but when you asked him where the kitchen was and how he would make himself something to eat, he couldn't tell you, but his brain had that habit in there. It was in a whole different place in his brain than where he would have kept his memory, so I thought that was interesting. And 2, discuss the methods of habit change in individuals. So to change habit in individuals, you must change the routine. So you keep the same cue, and then it's the same reward, but the routine in the middle is what changes. And the book includes many examples about that as well. I enjoyed reading about Tony Dungy or Dungy. I'm saying that wrong. I don't know which one it is. But with the football teams that he led to change their habits and keeping the same cues and the same rewards, but changing the routines about how they followed those cues and that led to the reward. I thought what was most interesting about that was that they would follow the new habits and until it got to that intense part where they were getting close, where the stakes were high, and then they kept falling back into their bad habits, which I think is so indicative of human nature. What we all do with our habits. So to apply the concept to myself, I have a bad habit of popping my knuckles that I would like to change. So in the book, when he talks about Mandy biting fingernails, I thought that was kind of a similar situation. The cue in my case is usually stress or anxiety and also boredom, so really just all the time. And the reward is the quick physical stimulation. So I have to figure out a different routine instead of popping the knuckles. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that. That's the hard part for me because in the book they talk about like just rubbing her arm or something. I don't think that's going to be, it's not the same. Maybe I need a sound because I like the sound of it too. I think it's weird. So I'm still working on changing that habit. And that is all. Thank you. Bye.